Doug, I believe we're ready to hit the road.
All right. Thank you very much, Becky. Good to see a lot of familiar faces. Some of you, I think I saw just a couple of days ago out in Las Vegas. I've got to say, great to be back in North Carolina for me, back on East Coast time, at least temporarily. I'm Doug Rice with PRM, by the way. Thrilled to be acting as your moderator here today. Believe it or not, 6 weeks away from the Bristol Motor Speedway dirt race, and that goes by fast. And of course, the whole team at Bristol Motor Speedway has been working overtime in the wee hours to try to mesh the fact that they've got a major league sporting event and Easter Sunday coinciding. And I think after you hear all the announcements that are coming forth today, that you're going to agree that they have done a wonderful job of doing just that. After we talk about all the special events that are going to be around Easter Sunday preceding the Bristol race at night, we will catch up with Steve Swift and find out exactly all the things that they have done in preparation for round 2 of the dirt at Bristol Motor Speedway. So now we'll move on and bring in a very familiar person to most of you. He is the president of Bristol Motor Speedway, Jerry Caldwell. Jerry, the mic's all yours.
Well, thank you, Doug. It is so good to see all of you guys and be here today talking about Bristol dirt racing just 6 weeks away. The 2022 season has certainly kicked off with a lot of enthusiasm, been an amazing burst of energy, and we are looking forward to continuing that trend here in Bristol for NASCAR's first ever Easter celebration in the modern era, and doing all that with the Food City Dirt Race. A little bit about how this came to be. To be honest with you, when the conversations first began, there was some hesitancy around Easter weekend and running on Easter weekend. And the more the conversations went, led by our CEO, Marcus Smith, Marcus really led us to seeing this as an opportunity. You know, this could be a great opportunity for the sport to showcase ourselves on a great weekend when families are together. They can come here and enjoy the race or watch it on TV. But it also gives us a platform to share a message that's important to us, message of love and hope that we think is desperately needed in this world today. So as those conversations came together, that's really what we came around. Marcus encouraged us to embrace this as an opportunity and really step into that. We were eager to get behind the initiative and turn this into something that could be very special for our region and for this sport, and that we could all be proud of, and gave us a great platform. So we will be hosting a special event in our Fan Midway area, hosting in the Fan Midway area so that we can make it accessible to everyone. We are pleased to announce that we will be joined by Grammy Award-winning worship leader Chris Tomlin. We'll also have best-selling author, New York Times bestselling author, Pastor Max Lucado. Pastor Lucado is known as America's pastor, and we are thrilled. They will be headlining a live event, Easter celebration service, that will be prior to the Food City Dirt Race at Bristol Motor Speedway on Sunday, April the 17th. We'll also have special guest Gary LaVox. He is most well known for being lead singer for Rascal Flatts, but he'll also be performing during that Easter celebration and also the national anthem that evening. We've been so pleased with the reception from these wonderful worship leaders and major talents within the Christian faith. They've embraced this opportunity to really celebrate Easter with us. And Max is currently leading a tour in Israel, but he and Chris both have recorded a message that they want to share with you here today.
Hello, everybody. Max Lucado here. It was a great honor to be invited by Bristol Motor Speedway to share a message on my favorite day of the year, Easter Sunday. What a blessing it will be to speak with all those guests at the first ever Easter celebration at a NASCAR race event. I sure hope that after your traditional Easter festivities, you'll be able to join us at 4 p.m. in the fan zone. You will not want to miss Chris Tomlin, who will be sharing some of his wonderful songs of praise at this special gathering, along with some other special guests. I hope you'll be able to join us Sunday, April 17th. Tell all your friends about this amazing opportunity and this great privilege that we will have to celebrate the resurrection of our Lord.
Hey everyone, hey my friends, so excited to be with all of you this Easter at Bristol Motor Speedway. What an opportunity on this Easter to share the good news with so many. Just remembering what Jesus has done and our hope and being alive and in Him and resurrection power, celebrating that, worshiping together. I'm so honored to share this this day with all of you. So we'll see you soon.
Well, great messages from Chris and from Max, and we're so thrilled to be able to have Chris, Max, and Gary join us for this Easter celebration, and been working to put this together for a long time. So we just recently, a few weeks ago, reached out to a lot of local pastors and worship leaders to share this information, and we've been so pleased with the response that we've gotten. And wanted them to understand how we're trying to complement kind of traditional Sunday morning traditions for Easter. We believe that'll do that. This will do that for those folks locally, and have had a tremendous response with all those folks. We're also thrilled to share that 2 more additions to that program. Of course, our beloved NASCAR team owner and dear friend Joe Gibbs will be a part of that, and we're thrilled to have Coach with us. And also standing by our side to help us pull this special day together will be NASCAR Industries Motor Racing Outreach. Most fans know Motor Racing Outreach and Billy Malden for the way he leads really the church of NASCAR, and has been there for our sport for so many years. And Billy and his team at MRO have agreed to work with us on this program and integrate other members of the racing family. And we'll be announcing those as we get closer over these next 6 weeks. But so at this time, it's my privilege to introduce my friend, Billy Malden. He's president and senior chaplain of MRO, to say a few words.
Hey, thank you, Jerry. I appreciate it. We are really excited about what's come together. It's been fun to watch from behind the scenes as you guys have worked hard to get folks like Max and Chris there that weekend. It's going to be fun to see Chris again. He's not a stranger to racing. He's actually led us in worship at chapel in the track in the past. And so to see him coming back from within the racing community, we've had a number of people who have been reaching out asking, hey, what are we going to do on Easter? And it's been fun to be able to finally tell them now what you guys have put together, not only for the fans, but for our racing community that travels week in and week out. And they're looking forward to being there as well. Over the years, we've had a lot of opportunities to do things at racetracks, sunrise services, and so forth. And what's always amazing is how much the fans appreciate it. And I think it'll be no different with this Easter service and what's coming together at Bristol. There's going to be a lot of tremendous positive feedback from a lot of folks that I'll tell you right now won't even realize what's going on till they get there that day and see it and encounter it. And they step back and they say, wow, this is pretty cool. And we appreciate you guys doing what you're doing on Easter. So again, totally excited to be a part of it, looking forward to it. And we're ready to start spreading the word as far as what's happening.
Well, Billy, Jerry, thanks for sharing some very exciting and enlightening news. Jerry, quick follow-up. How thrilled are you to finally be able to make this public? I know from behind the scenes, you guys have been working tirelessly to put all this together.
We have it's great. I am, excited. I'm kind of like a parent. You're so excited to show your kid off. You're excited to share this news because our team's been working so hard here at Bristol to pull that together. And it really is another major event. Having Max Lucado and Chris Tomlin, Gary LeVox, and Joe Gibbs all together is a major event on its own. And then you couple that with the Food City Dirt Race. And I think it really does set itself up to be an amazing opportunity to share that message that we talked about of hope and love. I really do want to thank Marcus for his leadership in that. He's the one that really inspired us to embrace this in a big way. And our good friends at Food City and partners that weekend. And then of course, Fox and NASCAR, they've been extremely supportive through this process. So we're looking forward to Sunday, April the 17th at 4 p.m. and being able to share all this with all of our friends and family that come for the race.
Billy, I know for a lot of fans, many of them may only know you as the guy that does the invocation on Saturday and Sunday. You get your 45 seconds. Now you're going to be on stage with some pretty heavyweight personalities for a while.
Yeah, it's an honor, and I really appreciate Jerry and the team there at Bristol reaching out and allowing me to be a part of it. But yeah, these are Max Lucado is one of the most exceptional communicators that you'll ever have the opportunity to hear. And then Chris Tomlin and his ability, his gift for music and worship. It's a tremendous combination. And then many of us know Coach Gibbs, and to have his inspiration and his passion for this type of an event, it's going to be electric. It really is. It's going to be a phenomenal time. And my role will hopefully just be a small role to make sure everything rolls just as Jerry and his team have planned. And yeah, it is. It really is, Doug. It's an honor to be a part of it. It's something special.
I look forward to it. That's all going on. Before we go dirt track racing Sunday night at Bristol, we'll kind of make the transition over there because this will be year 2 that we have brought in the dirt and transformed Bristol Motor Speedway, not just for the 2 days that NASCAR are there, but there's a lot of other activities going on the Bristol dirt, much as there was last year. And I want to bring in now the guy that I call constantly for information, not just at Bristol, but all the Speedway Motorsports tracks. And that's the Senior VP of Operations and Development of Speedway Motorsports, Steve Swift. Steve, you guys have had to take on a Herculean task once again. And even though it's 6 weeks away, it feels like you've already done a tremendous amount of work.
We have, Doug, and thanks for that. We started putting the dirt in as soon as the light show was over. Naturally, like last year, we were sourcing the dirt. We didn't have to go far this time. We stored the dirt from last year on site, which made it a much easier process to get the dirt in place and get it shaped up for what's to come. So it's been a busy spring or winter, I guess you would say, and we've been blessed with some great weather to be able to get the dirt in a lot quicker than last year. And we've got a racetrack right now that's ready to race on. We're probably 2 weeks ahead of schedule from where we thought we would be, and getting ready to have those dirt events prior to the Food City night race.
Steve, it's funny. The question I get asked the most, is it the same dirt, and where did you hide it?
It is the same dirt. We actually hid it back there at the drag entrance. It was kind of tucked in behind. If you came in off of 394 onto the drag strip, it was tucked in there to the right or the left-hand side, and we kept it on site and sealed off and added a few ingredients to it so we'd have great dirt for this year's race.
So what did you learn last year that you can carry over this year and maybe make the prep situation a little easier on you and the team?
There were some technical things we learned, Doug, that were, from a placement stance and some of the issues that we saw last year from the racing, where we had some areas that tended to create ledges or ridges that wouldn't go away, and it was just part of our placement, the way that we placed the dirt last year. We retrofitted that this year. We actually had a few other things that we learned, the way the racing was and what it looked like whenever we had all the different series that ran on it, and things that we could do better to the track to make for better racing this year.
And you're going to have racing there, a lot of racing prior to the NASCAR weekend once again.
That's correct. We've got 2 weeks of dirt nationals this year. Last year we ran a week. So this year we've got 2 weeks. We're spreading the cars out a little bit different for a little bit different flair on making sure the competition can flow better for those 2 weeks. But we'll have 2 weeks of racing prior to the dirt race with NASCAR on it. We actually decided this year to change the track up a little bit. And these 2 weeks will let us see if what changes we made makes a big difference or if we need to go back to our original design from last year.
One last thing here before we give it to Anthony for you to take some questions, because we've got a lot of media folks here. The biggest difference to an outsider, a lay day person like I am, is daytime to night. How big a swing is that?
Huge swing. Naturally dirt racing is much better when the moisture stays in the racetrack and we don't get the dust or the sun to bake out the track, that we have to continue to, as we call it in the dirt world, farm the track between races. Last year we were dealt a little bit of a bad hand with a lot of rain that weekend that caused us to run both races on the same day during the daytime, which really, showed the age of the track really quickly. So really excited about being a night race. The nighttime allows the track to hold moisture longer. Naturally, with the sun not beaming down, it doesn't dry the surface out, thus letting the moisture work from the bottom up, which creates a lot better race, a lot better show, gives the cars a lot better stability on the track. You don't end up with a lot of the dust that we saw there toward the tail end of last year's Cup race.
And remind everybody, the NASCAR weekend actually starts on Good Friday. They're going to have both NASCAR Cup Series and NASCAR Camping World practice on Friday and on Saturday. Bush Beans qualifying for both the Cups and the Trucks will be held. And then, of course, on Sunday, this all culminates with the Bristol Dirt Race under the lights. And that'll be preceded, of course, by the big worship service that starts at 4 o'clock. And after the Food City Dirt Race weekend, BMS is going to take a break. They'll be back with another big weekend featuring the World of Outlaws Bristol Bash. And that's for both the sprint cars and the late model cars. So a lot of racing preceding NASCAR weekend and a lot more coming up after. Anthony, I'm going to turn it over for you now to field some questions from the assembled media here.
And actually, I'm going to jump in right here. And right now, we don't have any questions waiting. Okay, of course we do. Bob Pockris.
Yeah, thanks. This is for Steve. Did any of the banking or any of the other particulars about the dirt change for Bristol? And were you at the tire test NASCAR did on the dirt, or was anybody from Speedway Motorsports there just to see how that tire could potentially react?
So first question to answer on the banking, we actually did change the profile of the racetrack. We talked to a few of the drivers, naturally some of the guys that were more versed in the dirt world, about the changes that we were proposing to make to the surface and the design of the track. So we actually have a progressive bank track now in the dirt. It's actually goes, last year it was a straight grade. This year we're actually steeper at the top than we are at the bottom, with a bowl in the middle, so to speak. Talking with several of the drivers, they felt like that would make much better racing, make the track much better, make all lanes come in a lot easier, and make the racing, a lot better show for us this fall. As far as the dirt test, it fell in a bad time. We were scheduled to be there. They rescheduled, so we did not make that trip, but we did have conversations with NASCAR and the driver that was there about what happened post that test.
Okay, so what was it? I'm trying to think from memory. Was it like 18 or was it 20 degrees at banking originally? And did you say it's like a bowl in the middle? So does it actually kind of go like slant and then kind of dip?
It's kind of like this shape. Yeah, it's like this shape. So it's kind of we went from last year, it was a straight grade of 18, 19 degrees. This year it's 16, 18, 19 degrees. Little flatter at the bottom.
And you said the dirt was the same. So like you didn't just take anything from Atlanta for posterity's sake and throw it in there.
No, we may have mixed a little bit of special sauce in there with some of the things we added, but no, it's still virtually the same dirt from last year.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next question will go to Jess Birchfield with the Johnson City Press.
This also for Steve. I guess, is there a different preparation that you have to do for the dirt when you have the lighter cars, like with the Bristol Dirt Nationals or the World Outlaws, and when you have the heavier stock cars?
Yes, sir, there is. There's definitely, when we look at stock cars and the trucks in the Cup weekend, we're looking for a really hard packed track that's going to rubber in a little quicker than most dirt tracks, just because of the weight of the car itself. The 2 weeks prior to, we'll farm the track quite a bit. We'll keep the track a little bit, for lack of better terms, fluffy for that type of racing, because the cars are lighter. And each series that runs during those 2 weeks is definitely the track's set up differently and prepped differently from your late models to your modifieds to the other cars that run that week, those 2 weeks. And then the fun part for the Woo weekend, the World of Outlaws weekend, is sprint cars like a different track prep than super late models. So we'll definitely be doing a lot of work that weekend to go back and forth from the track prep to make sure we got both series of tracks they're looking for.
Okay, and the next question, we'll go to Andrew with WCYB.
This is for Mr. Caldwell. What does it mean to be the first NASCAR race on Easter Sunday that was planned since 1970? I know the last one was in 1989, but that was forced to a race that weekend due to weather back in February. So what does it mean to be the first planned race on Easter Sunday since then?
You know, it is a great opportunity. I think we love doing first here in Bristol. I think we've shown that from football games to dirt to anything. So I think folks know that we're willing to try it, and that when we take on a responsibility like that, because we really do view it as a responsibility, that we want to do it in the right way. We obviously have amazing racing. I would argue the best in the sport. Here at Bristol Motor Speedway, we know we have that covered. I think the dirt race last year, Food City Dirt Race, was great, even though it had to be during the day. I think I'm with Steve. Moving it at night is exactly what we need. So the racing is going to be great. How do we take this responsibility of hosting an event on Easter Sunday for this region, for our state, for the sport, and do it in the right way? And I think we're blessed to have Max and Chris and Gary and Coach and Billy and the team at MRO really lock arms with us and be able to do that in a special way. So we really look forward to it.
All right, thank you. That concludes today's press conference. We thank you all for taking time out of your schedule and looking forward to sharing this information. We have emailed that press release out to everyone. Should you have any further questions, though, please don't hesitate to follow up with Anthony or I. So thank you again for joining us today for the Easter celebration news and the update on the dirt track. Looking forward to seeing you all soon. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jerry.